Hey everybody, Tim here. This is not a normal thing for me. I bought this video camera a while back, but the freaking tripod and all this crap. I had this foolish ambition to maybe one day start making YouTube content. And I'm just not going to do it. But what I am going to do is occasionally from time to time post some updates, post some information and whatnot, and I thought I had something worthy of sharing, something I've been working on, so you can see my cluttery, dirty mess of a desk here. But it's something I was working on and I wanted to share with you. Okay, so, if you have seen this piece before, let me reassemble it really quick. This is a Games Workshop Citadel hand drill, pin vise drill, right? It's actually a pretty good piece. I like it. It's very sturdily built. It's very comfortable. I love the shape of this back spinning piece. It's very comfortable in the hands, and I have big hands. I like this piece. What I don't like about this piece, what I don't like about pin drills at all, what I've never liked about them, is that it comes with this double-ended chuck. And this double-ended chuck is fine. I have no beef with its construction or even its use in terms of the hobby. We've all done it. And if my phone beeps, by the way, I'm sorry. It's just gonna, it's gonna be loud. And I'm not editing this or reshooting this, so it's just me sharing hobby dork stuff. This chuck piece is fine for using pin vise drill bits or very small drill bits, but you're limited to 2 diameters on the shank, and that's really annoying to me because I bought these little pin drills from Harbor Freight. They're very tiny, very tiny. This is actually the largest diameter of drill bit, and the smallest diameter of drill bit, way over here. I don't even know if the camera will pick up. I gotta be really careful opening this because I actually stabbed myself in the finger pulling this little bastard out. I don't even know if you can see that. Looks like you can, kind of. That's the tip on the smallest piece. I actually just by setting my hand on it, got this sucker to go in my finger. I have no idea if I'm ever going to need drill bits that small, but they came in a kit and whatever. But these larger ones are very handy. These larger ones are about the size of a paper clip in diameter. And these bottom ones back here, I've been using lately some, and I can't seem to find it anymore because I would lose my head if it was not attached. Here it is. This is really small floral wire, right? It's real cheap. It's steel. In this small of a diameter, if you're going to be pinging anything with this small of a diameter piece, that's plenty of strength for you. I cannot imagine anything having that small of a connection point and then something really big and bulky on the end that's not supported. It could happen, but I would imagine people are going to have problems assembling it. So anyway, that's what I don't like about pin drills. What I want a pin drill to do is use a Dremel-sided head, which you can see it doesn't exactly do, right? And there's no chuck in there. And you can very plainly see that the standard GW chuck, even on the largest side, let me fix my light just a smidge here. This is not going to work either, right? The diameter is just far too low. It's painfully obvious. So this piece is going to get relegated to the back end of my pin drill, pin vise, drill vise, hand drill, whatever you want to call this thing. I'm going to say pin vise because that's what I've always known it as. And it's going to live there forever. Not because it's terrible, but because it doesn't serve my purposes and I don't want to throw it away. It's a perfectly good usable part. If I ever decide there's another piece I need to use, I'd like to keep it. So now I have an empty shell of a pin vise with no chuck. And how do I get it in there? Okay. This front piece is the chuck from a Dremel. Or actually, it's a Harbor Freight Dremel piece because I don't chew up quality pieces like this because I experiment on cheap stuff. Anyway, the back half of this is actually just an electrical crimp, right? Like you would use to splice wires together in a car. It's actually what I got it out of as an automotive kit. And you can kind of see from the light shining down on it and maybe down in it, there's a metal core on the inside of this piece. And that's relevant because it's got a good solid base to press against. And then this is ABS plastic, so it's relatively firm. And I don't know the diameter of this piece. Please forgive me. Just go to a auto thing and find one until it works. And I shoved a chuck inside this auto piece. Now why? Because the self-centering head on the Dremel chuck and the head on here are obviously different lengths. And the way that the chuck works on the normal piece, if you don't know, I'm just going to say it anyway, is it presses all the way down, and the cone, as you tighten, it compresses in space and forces the head to come out this tip, which is also conically milled on the inside, and it squares it off on all sides and makes it so that it's self-centering. To do that with this piece, you need a spacer, which is right about the same diameter as this internal shaft here, right? And that spacer allows me to push this chuck as far down as it'll go. And when I screw down the head of the pin vise, you will see as it compresses, I don't know if you can see, but there's that little lip there. That's how it self-centers a drill bit. So if you take a large Dremel chuck, this is the large size shank, and a little electrical tube or some type of spacer so that it doesn't move around, insert it, add the shank, insert Dremel piece, and I now have a pin vise that will accept drill bits that fit into a Dremel. And it will not only accept drill bits, I don't know why you would do this, but it just proves the point. It will accept, you know, shafted tools for a Dremel. I have no idea why you would do this. It's just the first thing I grabbed out of the drawer that had the same shank and diameter as the other one. So there you go. I mean, you could spend all day pretending to sand something down. But the main reason is, the big thing is, I just wanted to show you how my way. It's not the way. It's probably not the most permanent thing in the world. But this is how you can convert a Games Workshop / Citadel pin vise to use Dremel attachments. So that's all I got for you. It's not life-changing. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was a cool idea. Allows me to just kind of vary my diameters a little bit. This is a little piece of resin I had over from a Arena Rex stuff, really soft resin. I have not tried it on metals because I don't really have a lot of metal models anymore. I have some, but not many. Works great on resin, works great on plastic, and if you want to give it a shot, give me your feedback. Hey, I like feedback. I'm not making... It may monetize this video because my channel's monetized, which is really stupid because I think I have like 4 videos on it at all. Most of it's just DIY stuff. So I'm not going to tell you subscribe and share with you. I don't give a shit about that. Really, I don't. I hope it helps you. I hope it helps your hobby. If you have one, I hope that it brings you a little bit more flexibility. If you don't have one and you're looking to purchase a pin vise, this might be a good way to go, simply because you can do this conversion with really cheap parts, and I mean really cheap parts. You can get at Harbor Freight. The most expensive part of this is going to be this pin vise. This sucker's like $30 some odd. I think it's worth it because I like the quality of this thing, but it is expensive, just no lie to you. If you have another pin vise and this is something you want to try, my only suggestion to you is just try to match the internal diameter of whatever you got and make sure that this inner shank part goes together. So there you go. Show your friends. Maybe you can all put one together, and happy hobbying.